Welcome to another episode of the podcast Encrypted Minds, a podcast about entrepreneurs in high tech and cybersecurity. And today I have with me Ajay Nawani of SharkStriker. Ajay, I'm very happy that you're here. Can you please introduce yourself?
Great. First of all, thank you, Edwin. Thank you for me having here on this podcast. So, a quick intro about myself. So, I'm a cybersecurity expert. As you said, my name is Ajay Nawani, and people know me like AJ. Okay. And I have over 3 decades of experience working in various industries, not just the cybersecurity, I would say the whole IT industry and compliances, right? But last over 2.5 decades, I'm working in the cybersecurity, and at presently, I am the CEO of SharkStriker.
Very nice, Ajay. So we have a lot of similarities. We work in the industry for quite some time, although you're outpacing me with your duration, 3 decades of experience. Why did you decide to step into the project SharkStriker? You're one of the founders, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I have spent almost 3 decades in the industry, and I got an opportunity to work with various customers as well as the channel partners. Because if I tell you about background, okay, I've been working with a lot of companies, and I work with a lot of partners and all. And what I thought is that working with channel partner and solving the customer problem is one of the really things which I love it. And I'm technical by heart, but I love teaching. I love consultancy, okay, and I love working with the partner. So I learned a lot from past companies, and each company gave me a lot of things, right? Now, this time I thought that, okay, now whatever learning I have accumulated so far, okay, I really wanted to apply these learnings in my own ways, right? So I wanted to have a platform wherein I can apply all my learning and bring up something which solves some different problems, okay? Every vendor is trying to solve some other problem. And so I wanted to have that kind of, that free hand, right? And I landed up at SharkStriker because that's where it is giving me all these opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something I can see. Also, when I visit your website, it is about clarity. You see what you're doing. And, I'm a seasoned sales guy from this industry. And sometimes it's even hard to explain what we do to people in our industry,
Correct.
let alone explaining it to people outside of our industry. But you seem to have a certain approach where your customers can make use of your platform and mitigate a lot of risks. So they can discuss about endpoint detection, but also about SIEM, a security operating center, even pen testing.
Right.
So you're competing to a lot of other vendors in the industry. So what makes you special, AJ?
So, Edwin, if you had looked at our website, okay, what we did is that personally, while interacting with so many partners and customer, nowadays the cybersecurity is becoming very complicated, right? And the more complication is the technology itself, right? Because there are so many technologies, and neither the customers nor the partners have the full understanding. Okay, we are just talking about the endpoint protection, right? There are
Yes.
technologies, for example, people always use a three-letter acronym, so IAM, PAM, SIM, XDR, DR, ITDR. Okay, there are a lot many things. Okay, but the problem here is that these customers, those who have a problem, okay, they don't know the which technology to buy, right? Which technology to invest into, or probably they must be having already a technology in place, right? But they are not using it, correct? Okay. So what we thought is that let's work in a direction where we solve the problem rather than we pitch a product. Okay. We have our own platform, definitely, but we are fully vendor agnostic. Now, every vendor talks about the vendor agnostic, because the language which you will see, every vendor is talking in the same language, right? Okay,
That's exactly what I mean. Yes.
correct. So you know that I always give the medical analogy, and that's easy for any person to learn, okay, and understand what that thing, okay. So if you go to a medical store, right, you have a headache, right, and now the medical store, when you see the medical store, they must be having maybe 10,000 different medicines. These are the 10,000 different solutions, right? And probably not a one particular solution will fit into your requirement. So you have to go to a doctor, and the doctor prescribes you the right medicine. And you go and take only that medicine from those 10,000. Okay.
Yes.
So now problem here is that there are too many medicines are available. There are too many products are available, but there are less doctors are available to prescribe you the right medicine, to solve your right problem. Okay. So with Shark Striker, that is my goal, that we don't want to go and customer say, guys, we are here to sell you same and XDR, and whereas we know customer has no idea about that thing, right? And probably they don't know what problem they are having right now. Okay. So we just try to be in their shoes and try to find out what problems they have, and then we try to understand what exactly they have, and then try to solve that problem. So having worked with so many companies, so many partners, and travel to almost maybe nearly 30 countries. Okay, this is what I've learned, and this is what we're trying to apply at SharkStrike.
Yeah. So this is a good point. So you are helping the customers to define their problems.
Right.
How do you do that?
So what we do is that we understand that when you talk about the problem in a technical lingo, right? Okay, then nobody will understand that thing. Okay. And the problem is not about the people intentionally, they are not able to understand. It is the technology. These things are now overwhelming, right? Because there are too many technologies, and every day something new comes, right? Every day something new comes. And you cannot expect a customer to understand each and every technology. And other thing is that these organizations, the small, mid-size, and all these organizations, they don't have enough resources also to focus on the specific. So what we do is that we simply ask them the define your problem. What exactly is the problem you're facing it? Okay. Don't jump on the solution. Okay. We will figure out the solution later stage. Okay. If someone asks me that, okay, guys, I need the MDR, okay, or I need the SIM solution. Okay. We say, great. Okay. But could we know that, okay, what problem you're trying to solve? Okay. What exactly you want to achieve? Is it just the compliance tick mark? Or you have some really pain, or you maybe went through with some kind of incident, okay, and what are you learning from those incident? Probably someone told you to go with sim, but maybe sim might not be the right solution, right? So that is how we do a, you know, that security kind of trusted advisory or consultancy approach.
Yes.
Okay, we ask the question, understand their point, okay, understand their challenges, what they have gone through that thing, okay, everything, and that help us to map the problem with the possible solution.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense. But in this case, hypothetically, there can be a situation and a customer comes to you, to your
Yeah,
sales teams, and said,
right,
I need a SIEM tool. You do the investigation, and it turns out that a smaller, an EDR solution can be a fit to their problem. So that means that the deal size is already decreasing.
right,
So how do you deal with this tension? Because you want to grow as a company, the
right,
customer comes to you, want a SIEM, but you said, no, 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 listen to your problem carefully. You need another solution that is much smaller.
right. So you know that what I believe is that uh, it's a relationship, right?
Okay.
Once you build a relationship with the customer, okay, once you enter into the organization and solve one of their problem, okay, and not by pitching the very expensive solution, by pitching whatever makes sense to them. Okay. I have seen that thing, that relationship organically grows, right? I'll tell you that we did one of the red teaming activity for one of the organization, okay? And they just came to us for the red teaming, right? And we found something very sensitive and all those things. So we explained them, we even gave them the solution and everything, okay? But the trust built already, right? The trust has established, okay? And then we became a consultant for them, right? Now that company is using our SOC service, they're using our platform, okay? So there are two approaches to the business, right? If you want to have everything from the day one, okay, or you want to build a relationship which long last and that give you the run rate business from the same customer, you don't have to go and explain things every time to that thing, because trust is important thing in the cybersecurity, right? So
Absolutely.
that is what we try to build first.
Yeah, yeah. I like your approach, and this seemed to be a little bit colliding with the sales approach, mainly from U.S. companies, that
Right.
is very quarterly driven. You have your targets, and I've been in the past also having deals with that. At the end of the deal, my customer was really happy, while my management was not that happy because the deal was decreased because I said simply it's not a fit yet. And I always take the position of the customer, because I truly believe that trust is really important. And you and I already have an example. Although you're a global company, we have similar acquaintances in the Netherlands. So I also truly believe that as soon as you are focusing on the deals or the projects before the customer, at the end you will be in a bad situation.
Definitely. I'll tell you, Edwin, that the sales mind says that we need more revenue, right? Okay, that's what every organization look for, and then you hunt customer every day, right? You hunt any customer every day and fight for that thing, the revenue, right? Okay. Now you let go the customers, those are not fitting into your criteria in terms of the deal size,
Yes.
right? Aren't you losing your future customer? Okay. Because you already spent time contacting those customers. So you went through with all your whole marketing sales cycle. Okay. You landed up with the customer, had a conversation, and then you're saying that, okay, this is not fitting into my minimum, the ticket size, right? Okay. So we are simply losing that customer, right? So you know that we have different kinds of customers. Some customers, they come up with the demand that I need only this solution, nothing else. Okay, automatically the deal size becomes the way we want, right? But if the customer, those who are coming with the problem, okay, and anyway, if we explain them something and we pitch them something, okay, they are going to check with the 5 more companies, because nowadays the buyers are also smarter, right? They don't just go and buy simply whatever we sell it, right? Because there's a huge competition in the market, right? So the consultancy approach, which we find, it gives us the long-term result.
Yeah. Yeah. I fully uh, believe in your strategy, because this is what cybersecurity is about. It is about trust, and you build trust over a longer term. As soon as you have a crisis, you can just provide value, and that increases trust and the relationship even further. It reminds me reminds me what you said about a nice phrase I learned from Fox IT, a local cybersecurity company in the Netherlands. They said, "Call us before you need us." And I like that approach. How are you performing your marketing or your messaging? Because like you said, our market is highly competitive. So how do you approach your prospects? What is your message?
So my message is very simple, is that, okay, what we do is that we don't try to pitch any product or solutions. We don't do that thing. Okay. My message is, we give you only two messages. Number one is that, okay, we help the organizations to bridge the cybersecurity and compliance. Okay, that is the most important thing.
Yes.
Okay, that's the most important thing. I will elaborate it, right? And the second thing is that we tell them, okay, whatever you have invested into, whatever you have bought the solution or whatever, okay, are you happy with the return on investment? Are you getting the ROI? Okay, that's where we work on that thing. Now, the first thing is bridging the cybersecurity and the compliance. Okay, I have seen there are so many companies. If you look at the compliance checklist,
Yes.
they have all the tick mark. Okay, if you talk about their the audit reports, pretty fine. Their controls, pretty fine. Okay, and if you think about their recent assessment reports, super. Okay, their trust center will give you everything. Okay,
Yes.
and recently we did an IR. Okay, and we did an IR for our customer. They were using one of the product of the other vendor, SaaS-based product. It was an integration, okay? And there was continuously data leakage. And then what we figured out, that SaaS company is fully compliant, SOC 2, Type 2, ISO 27001, okay? Every technology control you ask for, they were. Okay. Where everything you said that thing. But you know that ultimately we found the data leakage was happening from there itself.
How is that possible? So you have your guidelines, the ISO, the SOC Type 2
Right.
certifications, and
Right.
still not performing the job.
Exactly. Now I'll explain you. Okay. See, you study in a university, right? Okay. And in the university there is a curriculum, right? And the student in the university follow the same curriculum, right? And you have a professor, okay, who teaches every student, okay? Now everybody pass from that university carries the same credentials, but when they get into the industry, each one of them do differently. But the credential is same.
Yes.
The curriculum is same. The
Yeah.
certificate is same,
I
right?
like the metaphor. I see what you mean. Yes.
Right. So it is all about what is being audited, how is that being implemented, right? And how frequently it is being done, right? If you go with the PCI or you go with the ISO, for example, if I talk about the ISO 27001, okay, it asks you that, okay, you have to scan, maybe perform once in a year, but your engineering things are getting, the codes are getting changed, okay, every twice in a week, right? So, I mean, if you think that cybersecurity is a ritual, then you're going to face problems,
Yeah. Yeah. I
right?
like what you're saying. Yes. So you're facing the problem, but you will have customers that consider this a ritual and they making use of your services. But at the end, you see this, for example, that there are some gaps in the security posture. Do you proactively reach out to those customers and say, right, what we think you should do is this and this and this? So you're also being a partner without ask to be a partner?
Exactly. Now I'll give you example. Typically, when you talk about any SIM industry, what is the job of a SIM industry? Is to integrate the various solutions, right? Aggregate the different kinds of telemetries,
Yes.
and then you perform different kinds of the detections, right? Okay. Now you have done it perfectly fine. You will notify it to the customer. That's your job and there, right? Okay. Nothing beyond you're supposed to do that thing, right? Okay. Now, when you look at our offering, okay, we follow a strategy where we think the compliance is should be at the core. Why we think the compliant? I'm not talking about the compliance frameworks only. I'm talking about the baseline compliances, right? Okay. Now, if something is triggered in SIM, that means there is some weakness already there that caused that trigger. So my job is I have a two approach. One is I come to you, that, Edwin, I found one particular alert and this is what it is. Please work on that thing and I can help you to understand this alert. My job ends there, right? But we go beyond. We say that, Edwin, this alert has come because you have this weakness. If you fix this weakness, probably you are making attacker life difficult, right? Okay. And you are proactively fixing that thing so that not only you are acting on that alert, but you are acting on a root cause, right? So that is where we work with the customer, and that's what customer likes. I
Yes.
would like to give you one very great example. Okay, uh, you have heard about the managed detection and response service, right?
Yeah.
MDR. The
Yes.
whole industry is now been talking about MDR, right? Okay. Sometime I call it missing detection and response.
Yeah.
I know it is weird, the definition, okay? Why I call it as a missing detection and response, okay? I'll give you two examples, okay? All these MDR normally, okay, it depends on every vendor, okay, but the most of MDR job is, it is the, by definition, the job of the service is to integrate with the platform and find out any logs, any alerts, and then run their AIs or whatever the algorithms, okay, and notify if something is malicious and take the response actions, right? That's the by definition of
Yes.
MDR, okay? Now, if I'm integrating a firewall, right? If a firewall is not at all configured properly, because in firewall, there are options you have to tick mark that it should generate the log, right? In the firewall, there are options to apply security policies such as IPS. If the policy is not applied, firewall is never ever going to generate that alert. And if the firewall is not going to generate the alert, that means MDR is not going to see that thing. That is the reason I call it as a missing detection and response.
All right. So you consider all these different technologies as a chain that should be completed.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that brings me to something else in your offering, AJ. And I'm just curious how you see this from a customer perspective and also from a vendor perspective. Your platform is fully integrated with artificial intelligence.
Correct.
You make it more efficient to help your customers. How do you consider AI from a cybersecurity perspective? Because it can both be a guardian, as you put it, but also a threat. What is your opinion about the use of AI in our industry?
Sure. So, see, technology is available to both kinds of people, right? Be it attacker or a defender. So, technology is free for everybody,
Yes.
right? Okay. It's up to those group of people how they want to use it. Now, when it comes to AI brings lot of goodness, right? But it has its own challenges as well, right? Because the technology is new. I'm not saying that people will say that it's not new, it exists since last maybe more than 9, 10 years, okay, but now it has come into the limelight after the chat GPT and other stuff, right? Okay, so agreed, right? Technology is there, but it needs more time to become mature right now, okay? Right now it is a big challenge in terms of the security. Why? Because everybody wants to build something using the AI. Now, from a cybersecurity, from a defender mind, I will say that the AI, how it is helping the organizations like us. Okay, it is saving time when you run the repetitive task because you know that you can automate that thing, right? But you have to be very careful that what you are doing it because if you are just relying on the public LLM models, okay, that means you are somewhere contributing the learning of those LLM at the cost of security of your customer. So that is the most important piece, right? Okay. So in terms of cybersecurity, right now, we are using the AI for summarization of the the rules, summarization of the detections, and then the creating or creation of the playbooks also, and overall triage. Okay, that is where the AI is helping, so that it reduce your the MTTI, MTTD, MTTR. Okay, all the parameters are getting improved a lot. Okay, and in the longer run, okay, AI will also gradually, once it becomes more trusted, I would put in that way. Okay, trusted and a little more the low resource oriented, okay, then it will also be taking the response actions. But there's a long way to go. Now, from attacker point of view, AI is also being used there also, because you know that the people now use the automated tool to run the attacks, and they don't have to, that create their own playbooks, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
attacker also needs to have a playbook, right? If I'm attacking a website, so I need to have lot of workflows. Okay, if I find this, do this, find this, do this. Okay, and AI is making my life easy, so I simply run it, right? So this is from a defender point of view. Now, if I think about non-cyber security, neither I'm the attacker nor I'm a defender. If I think about a normal organization, the AI helps everybody, but there is a scary situation here.
Yes.
In fact, I wrote one of the posts recently, okay, wherein I said that, okay, n- if I just focus on the chat GPT, okay, chat GPT has crossed now nearly 800 million weekly users, okay, and out of 800 million weekly users, okay, only 1.5 million users are using the ChatGPT Pro. Okay. And neither the free nor the Pro gives you any kind of DLP feature. That means employees are pasting anything. And the confidential data, confidential codes, okay, or intellectual properties are being freely shared over the AIs, okay, and you will see that there are very less mature product, okay, and the product those are built for designed for the even the small organizations, okay, to prevent such kind of thing. That is where the awareness of AI is very important.
So you're basically saying you're using AI to help your customers that has a limited number of resources to do the security, to optimize security. So they are really helpful. The attackers use AI in different ways because the technology is also useful for them. But also, you say there is an privacy or a data leakage issue because companies are using the ChatGPT and like share everything, and it's just out of the open. Maybe the language models are even trained on the input they got from the customers.
Definitely.
But how are so? It seems that you are in a suboptimal position because you have to defend your customers while the customers are opening the doors with the ChatGPT to disclose everything.
Right.
I
So
th- this is a threat.
this is Edwin, this is a big threat. This is a big threat because you know that everybody is in so much of rush in the AI, because everybody wants to write something AI next to their product.
Yes.
Everybody wants to write AI next to their service, next to their processes. Okay. So from a business point of view, I feel okay, AI is good, okay, but from the as a cybersecurity person, from a privacy point of view, it is really needs to be, I mean, the people needs to be fully aware, okay? Because by default, most of these tools are there to use your data for the model learning, okay? LinkedIn has introduced the AI by default. LinkedIn is learning everything of your profile, okay? It's not turned off by default. You have to turn it off. Now, how many people are even aware about that?
Yeah. I think nobody because it's so part of everybody's professional life. Everybody's sharing everything. Nobody's reading the disclosures or the disclaimers anymore.
Nobody, and even nowadays the browsers gives you all the whole set of integrations. You can integrate AI with your email, you can integrate AI with your chats, you can integrate AI with whatnot. Okay. And that means AI has the ability to read everything what you have, right? You want to quickly search in your computer because you have thousands of documents, use the AI, okay? So now imagine the amount of data which is being given to the AI. How the AI would automatically learn what happened maybe an hour ago. It is
Yeah.
not easy, right?
No. So this is also personal risk.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I keep highlighting to everybody. Whenever somebody comes and says that we need AI based solution, of course, we are giving you, we have that thing, okay? But please make sure that your employees are fully aware. Even individual people, those who are using the internet, are fully aware about the privacy challenges of AI.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very interesting point. How do you do this, AJ? Because SharkStriker is obviously a global company. You have customers all over the world.
Right.
Your employees are not sitting in the same office. They're also globally spread. How do you work on your awareness within your team?
Exactly. So what we did is that we have built a tool, okay, within the organization, okay, and we have disabled all the other AIs, okay. And in that tool, we have implemented the DLP, right? And we have implemented all those single sign-ons and all those things in that tool, and let people use that tool freely because we have, that implemented all the DLPs and all the controls. So at least all the confidential data or the private data or maybe any kind of the product codes or maybe intellectual properties are not leaving the organization. So that's what we do. And on top of that, you will have to keep on creating the awareness
Yes.
because awareness is the key because most AIs gives you an option that you can turn it off. Okay. You go to the perplexity, you go to the chat GPT, you could go to any of the solutions. When you go into the settings, okay, data control, they ask you whether you want us to use your data for learning, just turn it off right now. At least that is the minimum, the security one can, the minimum awareness one needs to have it,
Yeah.
right? So that is
So
most important.
that's a good tip.
Yeah,
Also quite practical, but this is only a small aspect from you as a leader of SharkStriker. Uh, may I ask you, as from a personal perspective, you as an entrepreneur in our industry,
right.
can you tell me a little bit about your story? You decided to step in.
Yeah, so my personal story is that I'm always, that since day one, okay, now I have the first love with the computer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the day when I saw the computer, okay, I'm talking about 1994, okay, and I'm born in India, okay, and the internet came in India in 1995 or 96, right? Okay, and I love the computer. I don't know why, right? But I love playing with the technology and all. So I started digging more into learning the computer. I built my own computer back in 1997. Okay, that my first computer was built by myself. I did all these things. So then I became so much, that attached to the technology, right? And so I kept on getting into the various roles in the IT. Okay, I started with the normal IT computer jobs. Okay, then I got into the very complex system. Right now, the computers which we are using. Okay, there are two types of computer: RISC-based and the CISC-based.
Mhm.
Okay, so I got into the very high-end computers. So, for example, in India, there are government organizations. Okay, they need superpower, so mainframe computers and all. So I got opportunity to learn that. Then the Linux came into picture, and I was already in love with the CLI. Okay, because I'm the DOS person. So I'm not sure whether you know the DOS or not, the disk operating system from Microsoft. Okay. So I'm that person. Uh, so throughout the journey, what I did is that I kept on adopting the new technology, and I always wanted to learn new technology. Okay. And then, that security was not the big thing. When I talk about the back in 2002 or three, it was okay. I mean, people were just with the antivirus. Okay,
Yes.
that's it. Nothing beyond that thing. Okay, even in 2007, 8. Okay, the firewall industry was shaping up. Okay, UTM was the word which was coined by IDC, that is Unified Threat Management. Okay, then later on the next gen firewall term coined on. Okay, then slowly the EDR, EPP became the EDR, then EDR became the XDR. Okay, so what I did is that I'm always hungry to learn something, right? Till that, even if I'm the CEO of the company, also my job and responsibilities are holistically to look after the business, to look after the all the functions of the organization. But in back of my mind, I'm still somewhere closely attached to the technology. If you talk more about technology, probably I will be more carefully listening to you,
Yeah.
right? Because I love that thing, right? And so what I wanted to do is that I that I was always challenging myself that why you cannot learn this thing, why you cannot do this thing. So I learned the Linux operating system. I learned the Unixware, which was a novel. Then I learned the HP UX. Okay. Then I learned the IBM AIX operating system. Then I got into the SGI, which is a Silicon Graphics computer. Okay. So that operating system. Then the Windows came, Microsoft came into the picture. I learned the networking. Then I became the networking guy also. So I set up the data center back in 2004. Okay. The whole data center for the ISP. So I learned the virtualization concept, clustering concept, and everything. Okay. Then I joined the Cyberum and the Sophos. Okay. That's where I learned a very important lesson is that, okay, learning, teaching. Okay. And I am by heart, I love explaining things to people. I love training. Okay. I love coaching. Okay. I know that's in my DNA somehow. Okay.
Yes.
So I try to make the complex things very simple by giving some other analogies and other things. Okay. That's what people say about me. And then the thing came into the pre-sales, that is the sales engineering operations. Okay. So I worked with Cyberom and the Sophos, worked on the global regions, okay. Then the Middle East and Africa, where I worked as a sales engineering director, wherein I was working with different kinds of partners, working on different kinds of designing the solutions which fits into the market, fits into the partner business model as well, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then talking to various customers, understanding the different countries also. I happen to travel nearly 30 countries, so I travel to different, and I mean, I met different people, different mindset to understand what they think about this. Okay. And so the whole learning made me think like that. Okay, there is so much of things to be done here in the cybersecurity and the IT space, and it is growing rapidly, right? I mean, if you are not into the IT industry, maybe just for 3 months, I'll tell you, you will be missing so many things. Once you come after 3 months, you will say a lot of things you have to catch up, right? Because overnight the technology gets evolved. Overnight something new comes, right?
Yes.
The new lingo comes, the new problems comes, and the new solution comes, right? So that is what is more fascinating to me, and that is what I keep learning. And then one day I came and that said, okay, now you know that I'm becoming old now. Okay. So I wanted to apply all my
More
learning,
experience, AJ.
everything, whatever I have now. I don't want to keep in a book, right? I want to practically apply everything, whatever. I interacted with partner, let's apply that. I learned technology, let's implement that. Okay. I interacted with customer for various problems, let's solve those problems also. Now I understood the partner mindset that okay, definitely they need more margin, they need more money, they need more easy thing, right? They need the best partner who can help them to end provide the services. Okay. And so that's how I landed up here. Okay. And so far I'm enjoying whatever I'm doing.
Whatever I'm doing. This sounds so you're building on top of each other from hardware to software to networking, clustering, cybersecurity. So this is what you are adding all these experience to learn and to teach other people, and all of a sudden you have your own company. But there's a difference. You were VP of engineering of Sophos, so you had a responsible job, traveling the world, but still part of a bigger corporation. But now you're the CEO of SharkStriker, and that means that everybody is looking to you for the next steps. You must feel the responsibility for your entire team. Are still enjoying? I must say, there also must be some challenges on the way to this current position.
That's true. So you know that I keep saying to the young people, those who want to get into the entrepreneurship. Okay, I say that if you are thinking that you are technically good and you want to you want to own the business or you want to run the business, then double check that.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
because business is not all about your technical know-how. It is not all about that, right? Because when, for example, right now, I'm the CEO of this organization, may not be every hour I'm talking about technology, right? I have to deal with the marketing team. I have to work on the marketing plans with the team. Okay. Have a debate with them that, okay, what kind of plans we need to have. For that, I myself needs to be fully aware about the marketing. I need to be fully aware about the what are the marketing trends. Okay. What are the things that needs to be done? What are the KPIs? What are the parameters to evaluate the marketing team? When it comes to your engineering team, okay, now if some development is happening, okay, you are making a product roadmaps, right? So I have to get into that thing. I have to think about the roadmap also, right? When it comes to the sales team, okay, so now the sales is altogether a different breed, right? So you will have to understand that where your the funnel is heading towards, where your channel ecosystem is heading towards, okay, what are the industry challenges when it comes to the competition, right? Okay, and what are our channel metrics, what are our opportunity metrics, okay, which region we are working good, which region we have to improve, do we know the problems, okay, if yes, then what are the possible solutions for that thing, right? Then the hiring, and so lot many legal challenges and all those things. So I mean, if someone just good in the technology and wants to start a business, I would say that please look into all of these aspects, because business is not just about one thing, right? And these are the challenges. So over the period, that every day I have to learn a lot, not just the technology, a lot about everything, right? Okay. And the journey is always challenging. Okay. I always say that if there are no challenges, I don't think that the uh, humankind will exist itself,
Okay.
right? Because life is all about challenges, right? Okay.
True.
So every day you wake up in the morning, you try to solve one challenge, right? Now it is up to you that how you take those challenges and how you ease out those challenges and how you find your own ways to solve those challenges. Okay. So yeah, the journey being CEO is tough. It is difficult, but that is what I have chosen.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is what I am enjoying, right?
Yeah. Th- That is. I like your. Thanks for the honesty, because everybody looks up to CEOs and think, right, they are changing the world, and look at them, because but it can also be lonely, right? Because you are developing your company with all the struggles you have. It is also important to celebrate certain wins. Can you just elaborate a little bit about the wins with your team, with your current team? You said, yes, this is what we will be working on.
Okay. So I'll tell you, there are so many things to celebrate here in the organization, and we recognize each and every small thing because that is very important thing. Okay. We have grown, like, I mean, we are now spread into so many countries. Okay. We have our own data centers in many countries. Okay. And we did this thing in a very short time span, right? It is not that we are there since last 10 years. No,
No,
short
it is
time span.
impressive. It's really
Right.
impressive what you're showing.
Right. So now it took time. It is a hard work of the team, because you know that I always keep saying to the people that uh, alone you can maybe run fast, but you cannot go far, right? You need to have a team, right? You need to have super solid team, because the team is something which actually runs the whole thing. If you think that, okay, you are a CEO and you can do everything, that's a wrong thing. Because the team, without team, you cannot do that. Now, the smallest thing, for example, the celebration, okay? Initially, we didn't had any logo, right? How do you prove that you have a solid service, you have a solid team, you have a solid platform and all, okay? So even if you won a small logo, that was a celebration for us. That yes, we won that thing. Okay. So this is the beginning, right? Then we build a small feature, okay, which we thought of, okay, that we should be doing that thing. That is another celebration, right? So there are so many small things, okay. For example, something which we were doing in 10 hours, okay. Now we minimize it by doing it in just in 2 or 3 hours, okay. That's a celebration. So celebration is not just that you win a big business and then only you celebrate it, because these are the foundation thing. The small things, okay, makes you bigger,
Yes.
right? Okay. So each small activity, be it within the engineering team, be it within the HR team or the sales team or maybe the SOC team, that is the celebration. Reason for the celebration is that yes, we learned all. And you know that even if you're losing the opportunity, because it's an industry, right? Not every opportunity you will win,
No.
right? There will be opportunities you are going to lose it, right? But what did we learn out of those opportunities? Okay. Because losing without learning is another problem.
Also,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, true. Yeah. So what I've been taking out of this conversation is I like your metaphors about changing the difficulty of our industry also in things you can understand, like the examples is your medicines and the 10,000 medicines. Also, the small wins you celebrate with the team. And you, during the preparation of the podcast, already spoke with your marketing manager, and also he was such a positive guy. So let's do this. Yeah. Is this also how you select your people, AJ, in the team? Is this a certain cultural aspect you think is important for SharkStriker?
It is very important because you know that when we say the word company, okay, the company itself defines that the group of people with the same motive, same goal, right? Okay. And if you don't have the same, the group of people with the same goal, that means one function is working in a north direction, another one is working in a south direction. That means you are not going to head into the one direction right now. Okay. So what we have done is that here in the company is that first thing is that nobody is boss here. Okay. Nobody is boss. Because why? Because if you set that barrier, right, then that means you are actually not giving the openness, right? Okay. And that openness matters a lot. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. I'll give you an example of yesterday itself, right? There was a big issue which team was trying to solve, right? And there were two senior people with I mean, say, very good experience. They were trying to solve the problem. Okay. And they spent almost 6 to 8 hours and they could not find the problem. Okay. But one, the newly joined person was just roaming around then. Okay. And said that, guys, what you're doing. He said that, okay, this is what the problem is, that thing. Then he was sitting next to them. Okay. That interesting. I also want to see that thing. Okay. And then there's a, can we try this command, this particular thing? Can you imagine, Edwin? That solves the problem.
New
I
guy
mean,
in the team.
so
Yeah.
no, so what we did is that in the whole company, the broadcasting option, we broadcasted that. We intentionally broadcasted that, okay? See that every human has a unique thinking power, okay? And every human being has a different perspective. Okay. Sometimes even you have maybe 3 decades of experience. You get into a problem, you get into a loop, right? And someone needs to take you out from that loop, right? Okay. So that kind of culture, okay, even accepting that, okay, that guy who has recently joined and has only 2 or 3 years of experience, okay, how he quickly gave us a clue and the problem got resolved. Okay. So that is the culture I always believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is an excellent example. Where is SharkStriker in 3 years from now, AJ?
So we are definitely very aggressive when it comes to the offerings and all. Okay. So did you ever heard about the Zoho? Zoho is one of the
Yeah.
organization,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe if I talk about from the European company, there's a Udo,
Yeah. Now
right?
we can talk about Zoho. I was exploring this company, I think 6 or 7 years ago, and as a matter of fact, I found billboards in my street of Zoho last week.
Awesome.
So they are expanding. Yeah.
So what problem they are solving? I mean, if I talk about Zoho, they have the CRM, right? There are maybe 100 more CRMs already exist.
Yes.
They have the mail campaign solutions. There are probably 100 or 200 more mail campaign solutions. They have the maybe the accounting solutions. There are pretty much every solution exists in the industry. So they are providing you the whole umbrella of applications, and all of these applications are already exist in the industry.
Yes.
So what is the differentiator here? The only differentiator is that everything under one roof, everything under one roof interconnected. So that means to meet an organization's every requirement, be it your sales organization, finance organization, your marketing, your engineering, everything is being fulfilled from one solution which is tightly interconnected. That's where SharkStriker would like to head towards.
All right. That is an excellent example. So in 5 years from now, we can expect billboards from SharkStrike in my street because they
Definitely,
grow too much
definitely.
ads. All right. Now, all right. Maybe this is a challenge that we meet each other in 5 years from now, where SharkStriker will be. I like this the example, AJ.
Great.
AJ, I really enjoyed this conversation, and there's so much things to get out of this meeting for early entrepreneurs, for people in cybersec, but also prospects who are investigating new tools to take a look at your company. I found it refreshing to see how you not pushing features, but putting problems first. I think, yeah, this is the way to do. You're not selling security, you're selling peace of mind. This is what I think.
Exactly. I mean, there's a good saying in the cybersecurity is that, okay, there are the organization that say that, okay, we make you feel secure, and we say that we don't make you feel secure, we secure you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, getting a feeling versus actual security, there's a difference.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what we are trying to aim for.
So, all right, and this is also the goal for the entire team, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. AJ, I thank you so much again for attending my podcast. Um, let's keep in touch. I will keep an eye also on the company, how it's developing, but it is so promising. I think we'll meet soon to discuss
Definitely.
the other wins you have to share with us.
Sure.
Great.
And I appreciate Edwin for having me here and asking the wonderful questions and that listening my whole story. But definitely, it was a nice interaction with you and love the idea of the podcast. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for your kind words, AJ. It was my pleasure, and we see each other soon.
Great. Thank
Right.
you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Have a good day.